Apple's first foldable iPhone is finally starting to take shape for 2026, and right now it's being referred to as either the iPhone Fold or possibly something even bigger, the iPhone Ultra. In this video, we're breaking down everything that's surfaced so far. Not speculation, not hype, just what the leaks are consistently pointing toward. And it all starts with one key detail, the name itself. There's growing chatter that Apple is preparing to expand its Ultra branding beyond just one product line. That includes potential devices like a MacBook Ultra and, right alongside that, an iPhone Ultra. Based on everything we're hearing, this foldable model fits that identity perfectly. A device like this isn't just another iPhone. It's meant to represent something more advanced. But the name is only the beginning. Now let's talk timing, because this is where things get interesting. Yes, 2026 still looks locked in, but not necessarily in the way you'd expect. The latest reports suggest this device could arrive much later than Apple's usual schedule. Instead of being available right after announcement, there may be a noticeable gap, and that changes how this launch might play out. What we could see is Apple unveiling the device during its typical September event, alongside the iPhone 18 lineup, but the actual release could slip into December. That wouldn't be completely new territory for Apple. They've handled staggered releases before, especially when dealing with major design shifts, and that's exactly what this foldable represents, a completely different direction. We've seen similar patterns in the past. The iPhone 12 lineup was delayed slightly, and even earlier, the iPhone X arrived well after the iPhone 8. So if Apple follows that kind of rollout again, the Ultra, or Fold, could be announced early but remain out of reach for a few extra months. And while that might test patience, it usually signals something bigger happening behind the scenes. Moving into hardware, one of the more surprising details involves memory. Reports suggest that the RAM inside this device could come from Samsung, using a newer stacked design. This isn't just about capacity, it's about efficiency and speed. The idea is that 12 gigabytes here could perform closer to what higher capacities deliver today. It's a shift that focuses on smarter performance, not just bigger numbers. On the processing side, the device is expected to feature the A20 Pro chip, built on a 2nm process. That's a significant step forward. Smaller transistors mean tighter integration, which leads to both improved performance and better power efficiency. It's the kind of upgrade that won't just show up in benchmarks, but in everyday responsiveness and battery behavior too. Alongside that, Apple is reportedly developing a new communication chip, the C2 or possibly C2X. This would be their next in-house 5G modem, and more importantly, it could introduce expanded satellite connectivity. That means even in areas without traditional signal, you'd still have access to basic communication features. Not full-speed streaming, but enough to stay connected when it matters. In terms of display, the numbers are becoming clearer. The outer screen is expected to come in around 5.3 inches, which is smaller than most current smartphones. But once opened, the inner display could stretch to roughly 7.8 inches. The idea here is simple: quick tasks on the outside, full experience on the inside. And that balance is where this design starts to stand out. But it's not just about size, it's about shape. Unlike some foldables that open like a tall book, this one is expected to follow a more compact, wider layout, almost like a folded wallet. That means a broader internal screen and a more contained outer display. It's a different approach, and it suggests Apple is prioritizing usability in a slightly different way than others. Another major change could be in biometrics. Instead of Face ID, current leaks suggest Apple may bring back Touch ID for this device, likely integrated into the power button, similar to certain iPads. The reasoning is practical. Using Face ID across multiple folding positions would add complexity, so simplifying that interaction might be the smarter move here. Camera setup is expected to stay relatively focused. Reports point to a total of 4 cameras, 2 on the back, likely wide and ultra-wide, plus 1 on each display for video and FaceTime. The rear sensors are expected to be around 48 megapixels, similar to what Apple already uses. So while this isn't a camera-first device, it's not cutting corners either. And finally, battery. Early information suggests a capacity somewhere between 5,000 and 5,500 milliamp hours. That puts it right in line or slightly ahead of other foldables. But when you combine that with Apple's efficiency, the new chip, and optimized software, the real-world battery life could end up being one of its strongest points. So that's where things stand right now, a foldable iPhone that could redefine Apple's lineup, arriving with a new identity, a different launch strategy, and a design that clearly aims to stand apart. The question now is simple. When it finally arrives, will it live up to everything we're seeing here?